You're back. You're back.
Good to see you.
Lewis is among us. Have a seat. Have a seat.
It's good to be back.
That's true. Obviously, the first question is the big one.
Yeah.
You have moved from McLaren to Mercedes. Is that not a bit like moving from Manchester United to West Ham?
Well, firstly, thanks for the warm welcome, everyone. How you doing?
Don't change the subject.
Good to be back. Yeah, no, it's a big change for me, obviously, but I'm really, really excited about it. You know, everyone is criticising it, and everyone has their own opinions. But you know, for me, I've been at McLaren since I was 13. It was a long, long period there, and you know, I wanted to change. I'm a risk taker. That's how.
There's a risk and a risk, because McLaren have won what, 182 races. Mercedes has won.
Yeah.
1 in 5 years. So what makes you think...
Well, they won the championship, didn't they?
Well, it was actually
Well, it was Brawn.
Well, technically not. Have they told you that? We've won. We've won.
No,
it was...
No, you're right. You know, they've really struggled the last few years. But I think what it is, you know, when the rules came out in 2009, everyone came out with a design of a car, and they started out. And every year after that, it's an evolution of that car. And they started off with on the wrong foot, and they've just been on the wrong foot since then.
There's one of the things I thought... you'd have to do a lot of PR work, I think, at McLaren, didn't you? I mean, everybody knows that's dreadful.
Yeah.
You know, buy this terrible thing that sponsors our car, and is there going to be less of that with...
A lot less, yeah.
A lot less?
Yeah.
That's good enough. Why didn't you just say, because I have to do less standing around talking rubbish?
It's not that. It was just, there was so many good things about the opportunity to go somewhere where they're struggling and hopefully be a part of something that's going to get somewhere, become great. Michael did it years ago with Ferrari, and there's no other driver that's done that, really, so I want to do something like that.
So we needn't expect to see you leading everybody round from pole position?
No, definitely. You definitely shouldn't expect that this year.
Because initial testing's not been completely successful so far.
No, it wasn't good. Brake failure in my 14th lap.
What speed? Pretty fast.
Yeah, well, it was at the end of the back straight going into turn 6, and
this is where
hit the brakes at like 180 miles an hour, 190, and then nothing happened. It just went straight in.
So when you put your foot on the brake pedal and you're going 180 and nothing happens, poo?
No, you do swear though. You think, oh.
Do you have time to think of a swear word?
Yeah, you do, and you have time to brace.
Do you?
Yeah, so I was going towards the wall, and I just remember just holding on for dear life, knowing that was going to hurt. And
did it hurt?
It did, yeah. But particularly my legs. For some reason, I don't know. I went in straight ahead, but my legs seem to hurt when I go straight into a wall.
Well, it does. Now, I do know what I need to talk to you about. The handbrake in the modern car. Have you ever thought, if I pull this,
I'm sure I have. in the first years as I was driving, I'm sure.
We were discussing this earlier, and it is one of the weirdest things, because I think we're all fairly clear, girls don't like men who do handbrake turns, but we think they do.
Yeah, my girlfriend loves it.
Does she?
I have a good story about handbrake turns. I was, years ago, and I was at a karting race in Italy with Nico as my teammate. Actually, so it's 2000. And me, my dad, and Keke Rosberg were on the way to the track. And my dad was driving down this country lane, which off the edge of the road drops down into a field, and it's like a meter drop. Keke all of a sudden just pulls the handbrake while my dad's driving, and my dad doesn't really know how to drive that well. he thinks he's a great driver, but, you know, and he was not expecting it.
He's not here to argue.
Lost the back end of the car and put it down into the ditch, and we had to leave it there and walk to the track.
Well, there wasn't even a girl in the car. Who was Keke trying to impress?
I don't know.
Your dad!
I think my dad, yeah.
Keke's gay! And on that bombshell... now, I know that you've been very much looking forward to come back here.
Yep, I have.
But you have been here before?
Yep, 2008, right?
Now, most guests do a lap, take the weather on the chin, whatever it may be, snow, ice, rain, and then go away. You didn't do that, though. You were cross, weren't you, about your...
Yeah, well, I wasn't happy that it was raining, and, well, it was wet.
I'm told that you took our producer round the back, and a deal was done that you could come back and try again when the track was dry.
Yeah.
I mean, this was a bloody quick time, 1:44, and it was wet. But it did
No,
annoy
wet
you.
and oily.
Oily, was
Get
it?
it right, yeah.
Racing drivers,
said-
excuses, but was it wet? And I thought that was always said, wet, it's wet and oily.
Wet and oily, you said.
Where did
You
the
said
oil
someone
come
in the
from?
last corner dumped some oil, like they blew a
It'll come out of Hammond's hair. Obviously, thorn in your side here, Sebastian, sits at the top. That irritates you?
He's had the best car for God knows how many years, and he's also